she can't get in. She's saying that, hey, I'm waiting on you guys for you to let me in the video.
No, she have to tell her to press the one for not the one for Google, the one for Zoom.
Yeah, that's the confusing part. No, which one to click on when you're coming in.
So I told her to click the Zoom link?
Yeah, the Zoom link, right.
Okay.
Not the Google.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Oh man, you already know what it is. It's about that time. You are now welcome to the Great Debate Podcast, featuring your girl Rema and Debra Coco, right here, each and every other Friday night. Let's get it.
Hi everybody, it's your girl Rema.
Hi, and I'm Debra Coco.
Welcome to the Great Debate, people. Another blessing week.
Yes. So,
Hey Debra, how's everything?
everything's pretty good. I'm on a kind of like burnout today. It feels like this week has been so crazy, and today especially for some reason, but you know, we make it through. That's what we do, right?
Yeah, that is what we do.
How was your 2 weeks? How's it been for you?
2 weeks has been fast. I've got a lot of things going on. So, you know, I'm planning my son's baby shower. You know, I'm in school, working. I'm trying to transfer jobs over now. So I'm about to make a huge career change. And I'm still trying to get a food truck. So I'm bidding now. Like, I'm in the process of bidding trucks and just seeing how the process works. I haven't even started my licensing yet. But the licensing is kind of different for me, being that I work. Hi, Ann. Welcome.
Hi.
So we're just gonna do like our 10-minute recap, and then we're gonna bring you on in.
All right.
So Deb, first I want to link us, make sure we linked into the
Oh yeah.
to
The Great Debate. When you find the live, can you tag me? Because I'm always on a delay. I don't know
I'm tagging
what
you
that
now.
is. You see it already, right? Okay, let me go on my phone.
Okay, so okay, so we're there. We're good. We're on the.
You tag? Okay, there we
We're
go.
on our
I
actual.
tag.
Right, we're on our actual page, so it's all good. I don't even got to do anything.
All right, so thanks for the tag. I see it.
Well, you know what? If I want to just copy this link to my page, okay, we just put it in my page, and then I will be ready.
I'm trying not to sneeze so bad. I feel like I want to sneeze, cough. I'm like, what the hell is going on with me right now? Okay.
So
right.
yes, what I was saying was I have been actually quite busy with preparing to become a grandmother during COVID for the first time, and changing careers and trying to get a food truck. So I've been pretty busy, and I like to stay that way. For now, that's what works for me. If I'm not busy, then I'm like, I feel away.
You feel away? So the career change, what happened? What made that come about?
So I've been in finance 15 years, right? And like that's what I do, budgeting money and spreadsheets all day. So I want to try something that's a little analytical. I've always dealt with spreadsheets and numbers. So now the department that merged with us, finance, they are program side. And what they do, I never understand. I don't like that I can only do half of
the job. Oh, well,
not really half. That's right. I don't even deal with their side, but I want to know their side. It'll be good for what I'm trying to do wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna take a lead.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, I actually worked for a department when I was at the stock exchange that had 5 different elements under one umbrella. So the idea was that we would, like, occasionally train with somebody in one of our partner or sister departments, so you can understand how the whole engine runs in its entirety, and not just what the part that you play, but understand how everything connects and how everything works together. So I guess that is a great idea to be able to go on the other side because you
I
bring
mean,
that knowledge from your
to
finance.
be truthful, because you know me, I'm always sharing. So to be truthful, me and a partner of mine, we are about to buy some real estate. I'm getting into the real estate game too. Why not? I had a little
Why
bit of
not?
money
Right.
stashed away, and what I want to do as far as real estate is, like, I work for Department of Health, so we construct buildings. We make sure HIV, everybody in the city, whatever your problem is, that whatever facility that we are under New York, that we make sure that facility follows regulations. We're like the police, right?
Right.
So my premise is to get real estate and do just what I'm doing now, but under my own entity.
Right, right.
So in order to like really be good, and that's where we're going at tonight with the debate, is like, you know, people, it doesn't matter brown, Spanish, white, it doesn't matter who you are. You have to do the research and you have to do the work so that you can know the full circle and the full scope of what something entails, whether it's a human, whether it's a job, whether it's your kids, right? Everything has a whole circle to it. And a lot of times we tend to only see half, only learn half, and be like, oh, I'm good. I know everything. This is not da 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 da. And then we spew out things that are not necessarily in the circle of what, in the circle of formation, in the circle of progress, right? So that's like, kind of going into what we're going to be debating about tonight, of Camilla and understanding the facts versus the fiction.
Oh yeah, let's get into that. That's a good one because I have not really been following politics. Ever since Trump got into the office, I just totally, that's my own thing. But now I'm seeing all these comments about Miss Harris, and some are good, some are bad. Some are saying, oh, they're gonna vote for her because she's black, and you don't know how she feels, how she voted against prison, different.
We're gonna talk
and
about
all that
right.
different
We're gonna
stuff.
talk about it all tonight.
Yeah, I'm just throwing out some little things that I've seen. I don't know.
Now, I just want to shout out to Big Al, our producer, if he could put up our telephone number, if you could somehow put that up, because I want to get called in tonight. I mean, that would be great if you guys. There's already people already on a check-in, so again, please feel free, everybody, to call in tonight. Let's tag some people too while we at it, Deb. So before we even go any further, I would though like to first introduce our guest for tonight, our guest co-host actually, media personality, Miss Ann B. Welcome to the Great Debate.
Hi, Ann. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Okay.
We
got some. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we're very happy to have you on the show.
Yes.
Go ahead, Deb.
No, I'm saying I like the fact when you told me about the topic, I was like, okay, I could learn something tonight, right? But listen to you break down stuff because like I told you last show, that's what I'm interested in doing. Every experience I have, I hope I walk away with something extra or something more than what I had when I got to that experience. So I'm excited to learn about Miss Harris because I don't know much about her.
Right. I mean, so I've been following her since 2016 in the sense of knowing who she was and what she was doing. I do not agree to everything with her, but I do want to get into it, right? But first, before we do that, I would like to first have a one-on-one conversation with Ann and just, have a brief talk with Ann about life, what's going on, what's been going on lately, and actually what we've gone through since being in COVID. So, first of all, and we want to say welcome to the show. And if you could just give us a brief summary of who you are, where you're from, your upbringing, your family setting, and things of that nature for the viewers.
Okay. I'm Ann B. A lot of people know me as Mr. 914's baby mother. Well, I was his fiance. Lily's mom.
Right. We're going to get into all that. But yeah, please let them know.
I'm a mom of 4. I have 2 grandchildren. I'm a media personality. I do media also. I just started a new business venture, Naughty-ish Lingerie. I just started that like June. We'll get into that later on, but yeah, I just started
That's
that.
positive, you know, the code.
And where you from, Ann?
I'm from Mount Vernon. I was born and raised here. That's pretty. It's not really. I mean, a lot of people that know me, I'm pretty sure everybody knows me. That's pretty much it. Looks can be deceiving. I'm not mean. I'm very nice. I'm very.
We're gonna get into that too.
I'm not stuck up or any of that stuff. I'm very positive about a lot of things. You know, I'm very strong on a lot of things. You know, media is my baby. That's my first thing that I started, you know, once after my breakup. But that's my baby. That's my first love. And then Naughtiest Lingerie came after. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it about myself.
And so you lived in Yonkers your whole life?
No, I lived in Mount Vernon my whole life. I lived in Yonkers for 10 years. And I only lived in Yonkers because of Kev.
Ironically, being that y'all both from Mount Vernon. So let's get into it. How did you first meet Mr. 914?
I met him on Facebook, and we were just like Facebook friends. We were flirting.
Wait a minute. Did you meet him on Facebook? No.
Yeah, I met him on Facebook. No, I met him on Facebook.
Not MySpace?
We were literally Facebook. We were literally Facebook friends. No. This is like, I was with Kev in 2000. My daughter was born in 2008. 2009. We got together in October of 2009. I met him on Facebook, you know, chatting.
This is good, because this is a myth. Some people think, so this is great.
So I met him like that. We would talk, you know, we were flirting back and forth, you know, went from the inbox, and we hung, you know, I met him at a club one night, and then it's mystery since then. A lot of people don't know I was with him through the whole ordeal with his heart transplant. I was, you know, there.
I wanted to actually talk about that for a second. How long was y'all in relationships before
we had gotten together in October of 2009. We moved to Mount Vernon.
How was he as a guy that you dated? Because he's no longer here. So you have to give the people visual, right?
Okay. And I love, you know, I got super love for this man, God rest his soul. He's a shitty fiance, but he's a great dad. You know, he's a great dad. Don't get me wrong, he has some good ways about
shitty, we mean they know what we mean by that.
You know what I'm saying? But he was a good person overall, and everybody knows that about him. He was a good person overall. I would never take that.
A heart.
From the heart. But you know, as far as relationship goes, that just wasn't us. That it wasn't our thing.
No, wait, before you get into that, because we don't need to touch what the breakup and all of that was, right? But what I would like you to do is, like, you know, people ask a lot. Like, now that he's gone, people come to me and be like, damn, you knew him. How really was he? Because a lot of people know that with the character, like, he had a persona on Facebook, right?
You guys know him as Mr. 914. I know him as...
I know a little bit of both, right? Because he's an introvert. He's not an extrovert. Like, most people think, like, you know, he's this people...
He's very introverted, extroverted.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying. You know, like, he's the type of person who he'll rather stay in the house and not be around people, but being that it was his job, this is what he had to do, this is what he did. But if he had to have a choice, it would be, you know, chill, lay low, and just do him. But
what captured you about him that you was like, okay, I'm gonna be with this guy? This is before Lily. This is before the right?
I really can't. It's so hard because, you know, when I got with him, he wasn't on the party scene as hard as that. He was going out to parties, but he wasn't the promoter. Well, you know, he might have did parties in the past, but he wasn't the promoter as he was. It wasn't Mr. 914 to me. It was Kevin. Like, you know, I was hanging out with Kevin.
That's what the people are tuning in now to know. So that's why I'm asking.
I was hanging out with Kevin, so, you know.
How was Kevin? Like, what made you be like, I like this guy? This is gonna be
funny. He's funny. He's definitely funny. You know, he has a good personality overall, and he's a good person. I would never take that from him. He's a good person. And I don't know, we just clicked from day one. Like, we just clicked, like, you know, it was never, you know, we had our differences, but we really clicked from day one. Like, day one, we really it just was from there. And then, you know, we was together, and we had moved in February of 2010 together, and it was just, you know, history from there.
So now, did Lily come first, or did his heart issue come first?
his heart issue came first. Is he had his in June of 2010. We were working at the same job. He was working at my job. He started working at my job, and he was really sick. He had went to the hospital. They kept telling him that it was acid reflux. That what was it? It wasn't. He couldn't It's crazy because he couldn't lay down. He couldn't anybody with heart issues that dealt with it. He couldn't lay down. Like he had to sit up all the time. Like if he laid down, he couldn't breathe. And
that was the first sign for the viewers that
was the first sign. Yeah. So then, we went to Mount Vernon Hospital. They told him it was acid reflux. So we had got the Nexium pills that didn't work. He went to New Rochelle Hospital, and that's when they found out that his heart was enlarged. And he had went down to Cornell Hospital. From there, they took him to Cornell Hospital. Cornell Hospital in the city let us know that his heart was enlarged. He had got the balloon pump, which, that's something that goes in right here through the groin area. He had got that in to help, pump blood to his heart.
Okay.
It was a lot because they didn't want to give him a heart transplant at that hospital. They wanted to give him a backpack and send him on his way, and that's how he was supposed to live life. That wasn't going to happen though. So me being me, I signed him out of Cornell Hospital, brought him home. I took the day off from work.
Was he still very ill when you?
He was still very ill. He was still very ill. So I didn't even sleep that night because the thing that he had a monitor on. So like if his heart skipped a beat, it would beep or things like that. So I didn't even get to really sleep that night. Like I helped him. Like this is a lot. That night I didn't sleep. So the next day he really didn't feel well. He started throwing up. So Kevin, mind you, Kevin lost a lot of weight from.
He did. From that first one.
And from the time he went in the hospital in June up until he lost a lot of weight. So by this time he was already in Cornell for a couple of weeks. When I signed him out, I brought him home that night. I took him to Lawrence Hospital. I took him to Lawrence Hospital. I had to carry him on my back downstairs because he couldn't walk. So I carried him on my back down. Mind you, even though he lost weight, he was still solid. So, I carried him on my back downstairs, took him to Lawrence Hospital. From Lawrence Hospital, he went to Westchester Medical Center, and Westchester Medical Center put his name at the top of the list for a heart transplant. He got his heart transplant in November of 2010. So,
you gotta understand, for our viewers, there's a lot of people that's tuning in right now solely for Kevin and a story that they could kind of grasp onto. So what you're telling us, even though Kevin has been very open about this, for the people that are tuning in, this is what the information they're tuning in, we appreciate you putting the visual because now we do understand that this was a long struggle. Because most people, they still can't accept, like, it hit them. But I always knew he was sick, and you always knew he was sick. And even though he would post it once in a blue, his whole thing was, I don't tell people when I'm sick. So people kind of didn't know he was gravely towards that. And so you giving people this visual give some people closure to see that, wow, this wasn't something that just, that he's just gone. Like he had been going, there was a progressiveness of going through this.
After the heart transplant in November, just fast forwarding through a lot of things because, I don't really, it's emotional for me because I went through a lot with that. Just fast forward to November 2010 when he had the actual heart transplant. He actually was doing great. His weight was up. The only thing that ever happened that, he wasn't in and out the hospital with it. He was really on top of things. It's just a lot, and he's very stubborn. He didn't like to tell people when he was sick. And that's just even from just living with him for 7.5 years and just knowing how when he's sick, you have to really be like on top of him to be like, okay, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't want to say like, I'm sick or, chill out. You got to stay home or you can't do this. He always wanted to be, wanted to do because he felt like, oh, I have to be there. I need to be there. I have to do this. And I'm like, you don't feel good. You need to stay down,
So fast forward, and he always does say this, that you helped nurse him back to health, and he got back after the transplant, and then y'all had Lily, and that was, how was that? How was that having Lily?
It was good, at that particular time, I feel like Lily actually brought us closer, every relationship has their differences, and I actually feel like Lily actually brought us closer, and then being that, she's the child, like, you know, it's actually us having a child together, and she's in the house with both parents, you know, because at that time, you know, his oldest daughter was living, you know, with her mom. So, you know, it actually was, and I think it made him a better person. I think Lily kept him on his toes and made him a better person. If
You
you know,
think that, or you know that? You know that she did.
I know that she made him a better person. You know, and that's just pretty much it. It's not really like, you know, I don't really get into a lot about it, you know.
No, and we're not. But you just, you know, again, I don't want to have you as a co-host. We're about to get into a huge debate, but we do have to touch on Kevin Herring. You know, I mean, like, a lot of people didn't get closure. You know, a lot of people didn't say goodbye to him in a proper sense. It was too soon, so we weren't able to give him a proper birthday. A lot of people didn't feel like they was able to participate in anything that was pertaining to him after. And just like you, everybody close, me, Toya, Biz, all the people that was in his surrounding circles, we have to deal with a lot of questions like, damn, I couldn't, you know, like I couldn't go. And it's hard to even talk about somebody who has passed in a sense that you feel a different attachment to them than like Tupac. Not saying he's Tupac, but like Tupac, right? Tupac had a family. He had a mother. He had a brother. He had family. And when the world grieved him, it was hard for the family to do such. And that's any figure. It could be somebody from the hood that's a popular, you know, guy from the hood. Any figure that a lot of people know. And especially Kevin, he was the connection for Bronx and Mount Vernon and Yonkers. And we all say that, right? So he was the bridge. So, you know, that's just a lot of people that felt like, yo, a loss. And you know, and so I want to get into that. With saying all of that is like, I have an idea of what 914 legacy should be. But I want to know what you, because again, I'm just a business partner. Even though I'm a friend, but I'm legacy-wise, I'm looking at it as his business partner who he trusts with certain things, so I know exactly how he would want certain things, right? But now you, as somebody, like you said, who lived with him for 7 years, who nursed him back to health when he was near death before, and who actually most people don't know, got him to the hospital his last time going there. With all that being said, what do you feel 914 legacy should look like? What do you feel like Kevin's legacy should be and should look like? And take a minute to think about that, because you have Lily, you have a daughter, right? And everybody knows that's Kevin's twin, right? So I always feel like whatever his legacy should be, Lily should definitely play some sort of major role in that, right? Not to say that Faith shouldn't, but the girls are different. You know, Kevin had Lily almost every day, you know? So what do you feel now that you think Kevin's legacy should look like?
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even like really thought about stuff like that yet, because I'm still like dealing with, I haven't really registered him being gone. And it's hard because, you know, even though Lily is like, she's exceptional, like as far as like dealing with her father passing, she's dealt with it great, you know, because she's a kid. She's was with him 3 days a week. We were the last people to drop him off at the hospital. She was in a car with him. She spoke to him. He was the last person that she texted, you know, right before everything happened. So I
tell
haven't
the
really.
People, but wait a minute. Tell the people that, because everybody wants to know how Lily's doing. But there was a lot of important things Kevin did with Lily his last days of being on Earth. Just give the people a little bit of
like you know, that Tuesday before everything, you know, he had Lily that, because usually he keeps Lily Tuesday to Wednesday and then Thursday to Friday. Mm-hmm. He had Lily that Tuesday. I went to work. He had texted me and said he wasn't feeling well, which I didn't know. And, you know, Lily and him are like this. So Lily's not going to tell me that Daddy's not feeling good. She's still going to go over there and, you know, whatever. So just the text message from him, something said to me that something wasn't right. So, you know, I went and picked Lily up that night, and I'm just like, you know, I'll take you to the hospital. Just call me. And he was like, all right. And, you know, I called him all day Wednesday. He didn't answer. So he called me Wednesday evening and said, you just take me to the hospital tomorrow. Which was Thursday. So I told him I'll take him to the hospital Thursday. It was alarming because his sister had called. It really made me really think, because his sister had called me Thursday and was like, have you spoken to my brother? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm taking him to the hospital today, blah, blah, blah. You know, like just regular. I I got the call. I called him. I'm calling him. He's not answering. So I left this message on his phone, like, hey, if you don't fucking answer this phone, I'm gonna come down to the house with the fucking cops and break your door.
What was Lily doing all this time?
Well, Lily's with me. Lily's home with me.
I know, but she asking.
She's not. But she doesn't know anything because like her dad were like this, so she's not gonna tell me that Daddy was. Even though she know that he was sick and she saw that he was sick, she didn't tell me that he was sick. And
How old is Lily?
He's 7.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
So
text her father at.
Yeah, she's been telling me that he was sick. So when I asked her, when I picked her up, I'm like, why didn't you tell me Daddy was sick? Oh, because he told me not to say nothing. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So, I left it alone. It wasn't until I actually saw Kev the day that he passed, and I was mad because I felt like he could have just told me he was that sick. I didn't know that he was really this sick. He looked bad.
Some people felt like he pushed the people closest away.
Yes, I feel like that too.
I mean, all the closest people, even if you look at what he would post, if you really know him, his last post was not how he normally was. Like, some people don't pay attention because it's Facebook. Right. But, when you look back on things, you're like, wow, nothing really was kind of the same going on like normal.
No, and then just even like taking him to the hospital and just because I didn't me not paying attention to the fact that we're in the midst of COVID, like we're in the highlight of COVID, like everything just got shut down a week or 2 ago, so we're just like in the height of it, and me not paying attention. I'm walking with him to the door, like, hey, I'm going in with him, and they're like, no, you gotta go home for 5 hours. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go home, and all you're gonna do is admit him anyway. Sit here, and all you're gonna do is I'm gonna go home. So I took the girls home. I'm texting. Then I end up calling the hospital, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm just checking on him. They said we're giving him an MRI, and they were definitely gonna keep him. So I'm like, okay. That was around like maybe 8:45. Lily got a text from him at 9, and then that's when we got the phone call later on.
So now, how is Lily in? How has she been since her father has left her?
She's actually been okay. I have her. I try to keep her busy as I can. She's running track now. I don't know if he prepared her, and it may sound crazy, but I think that he prepared her in his own way.
He definitely prepared her.
I think he knew. I think even from the hospital in February, I think he knew at some point he wasn't going to be here long. So I think that he prepared her for this. So a lot of things that she does and that she talks about, she's very like, I know my dad is in heaven. He's with church, because my father's passed too, 2 years ago. So she's like, oh, my dad is with grandpa in heaven, and they're looking down on us, and that's how she talks. Even like running track, she says, oh, my dad is watching me run track, and he wants me to do good, and that's just her attitude. So that's how I try to keep it. I really don't try to drill her, because even in the beginning, I was like, Lisa, are you okay? And she used to say, stop asking me if I'm okay. Don't ask me that.
She's really,
because you're gonna make me feel
a spunky.
Yeah, she'll be like, oh, you're gonna make me think about it. I don't want to think about it. And I think that was her way of separating it from it. But now she's learning to accept it. And I don't really know, because school hasn't started yet. And he picked her up from school a lot. Like anything I couldn't be there for, he was there for. When it was school concerts and I'm at work late, he was at the school concert. So now,
business meeting with money on the table that he had to leave me because he had to go to school for me.
Right.
Like, he don't play with that. Like,
so it's just like, I don't know, like being that now that we're not in school, she's not around other kids, and she's not really getting to see a lot of kids with their dads. It hasn't really, I don't know if it hasn't hit her yet, but I do feel like once she goes to school, it's gonna affect her, because she's gonna see the kids probably getting picked up by their dad, or she's gonna see kids' dads at their shows and things like that, and her dad is not gonna be there. I'm hoping that she still maintains the same attitude, but I do feel like she's gonna have those moments once school starts and she's actually back into school. Hopefully, if they ever get back into school, she's gonna probably experience those things. But other than that, I mean, she's great. She's good.
What can people do when they see you and Lily in the street, or if they run into Lily and they're so overzealous because 914 is gone. And
I did
know, because it's people watching. What can they do? Like, because I think you need to put the disclaimer out there a little bit, right? Because people miss Kevin. It's so hard.
I'm very overprotective of her.
But we all are. But you gotta tell the people.
So me personally, it's just like, I don't like, even like we saw one of her dad's friends that was his friend in high school. He didn't overwhelm her because his daughter runs track too. He's like, oh, hey, Lily. He left it like that. And then he came and spoke to me. But a lot of times, I haven't ran into anybody that sees Lily and like, oh my God, Lily look like your dad.
No, we want to put that out there because it'll be next summer or the summer after, right? We weren't really outside, and I'm just saying, if you decide,
I don't really worry about it because I'm not really in the places.
But are you okay with people approaching Lily? Are you okay with that's the disclaimer? I mean, like, is it okay?
I mean, I'm okay with. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not really okay with people approaching her about her dad.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's just, I'm not okay with it. I just don't want it. Like, I just don't want, like, I don't want the whole, like, that's why I didn't bring her, I just kind of like, I kind of keep her sheltered from it. Just to let her deal with how she's dealing with it. I don't really want her like, and then, like all these, like, and not to say for nothing, I get a lot of phone calls or I get a lot of, like, hits in my, if Lily needs anything. And my thing is just like, like Lily's fine. She's, her grandmother, she's well off. She's not in need of anything. And I mean, I appreciate every bit of the, the texts and the phone calls and the inboxes saying, if Lily needs anything. But honestly, she really doesn't. And it's just like, and then even with the new form relationship people want to have with her, I don't want to deal with that because I feel like if you were friends with her dad, those relationships should have already been established with her. Because if you're a close friend of his, then you're close with his daughter, and that's just what it is. So if you weren't that person that was in her life and she doesn't know you as so and so and she doesn't know, then this, what I'm saying, like, it's just really no need for me to like bring those things in. I've had a lot of hits like, oh, I want to see Lita, I want Lita to come meet you, or need to do lunch, but who are you? Where does she know you from?
But this is good because people need to hear this, right, Debra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying I have my listening hat on tonight because me and Kev is actually good friends. I think I met you, Ann, at an event, right? I've seen you a couple of times at Smile for Sonia, like different things. I think we actually sat at the same table. Right. So it's just like, I know Kevin, but I know from the outside, I wasn't a party promoter. Right. Even though I used to interview and have relationships with people. So I always gravitated towards him because I thought he was the funniest. Like, I thought his sense of humor was so real, right? Mm-hmm. He was real and he was funny. And it's like, if you didn't like it, this is what it is. You know what I mean? So I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? So I always gravitated towards him for that. Even towards the time when me and Rema started co-hosting, he would write me in the inbox, that was a good show today. And I don't know, like, I didn't really ask him, are you speaking or you're not speaking?
No, we weren't fucking speaking. We never speak. And do we ever speak?
But sometimes y'all was, sometimes y'all wasn't. So I'm like,
but even when we don't speak, we speak. And what I'm saying to say is, the disclaimer is that,
I have to finish my story. Yes.
I'm going to drink my wine.
Yes. My listening hat was on for a long time. Okay, so, just to wrap it up, like, I used to appreciate his feedback. He had a vision, like Rema posted before, of how the show should be. He used to give us suggestions and advice on it, right? And he was still watching from a distance, like it was his baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, try to change the music, try to do this, next week do that, keep this going. And I'm new to the situation, so I'm just loving it. I'm like, okay. He's like, shush, don't tell Rema I told you. Okay. I'll just incorporate it some type of way. But I'm just saying he was there, and he paid attention. And he definitely was on the live. And I just think he was a cool dude. And it was a great, great loss. And we suffered a lot during this COVID situation. And I'm glad to see, it's just hearing the story. I'm like, my eyes are open, but it's like my eyes is closed. You know what I'm saying? I'm just listening to what you're saying, and I'm taking it all in because we all, we know him. So now we're getting to hear like the intimate details or how it really was for him. You know what I'm saying? So, and this was not a heart condition he actually grew up with, right? This is something that developed as an adult.
This happened as this is something that happened as him being, like in his like 30s. It was like in 30s when it happened, and
Wow.
Even with like, and I didn't really experience like the prejudice of hospitals until he got sick, because it was like they were saying like, oh well, he's a drug dealer, or I mean he used drugs, or he was heavy in alcohol, and that's why they didn't want to give him the heart transplant at Cornell. And I was like, we're not gonna stay here. You're not going with no book bag. We're not living like that. You're gonna get the fuck out of here. If we gotta go 1,001 hospitals, we're gonna go and you're gonna get that heart transplant. So it was very fortunate of him to go to get to Western Medical Center and them to ask, because Kevin is stubborn. He's very stubborn, and he is the worst. He was the worst patient. I mean, they loved him, but he gave them a run for their money. He definitely gave them a run for their money.
And what you saying, that being stubborn is something that I now have to live with, because I feel like, our last disagreement was about absolutely nothing, but I'm stubborn and he's stubborn. And it's just like, I just feel like when I saw him at stage 48, shout out to Dave Shu, and we were all crew deep, and I hadn't seen Kevin in months. And I saw him, and it was like I got pale. Where's my partner? Where's my best friend? Like, who is this person? I couldn't believe not seeing him in 3 months. What a transformation. Like, anybody who saw him had to have known that he was just really, really, really not feeling well. He was not feeling well. And the thing about Kevin was, he wouldn't want you to apologize for anything. So it was like when he passed, people were like, well, y'all wasn't even speaking. So we never spoke. I've known Kevin for so many years. You know how many times we haven't spoke? We've got over some shit. And you know that. Shit that was for real. Like, I don't think I would have ever spoke to somebody again. I don't think he would have ever spoke to somebody again. But the dynamic of our friendship, that's how it was based. And that's, what people got to understand is, stop trying to change things and accept things for how they were when they were going on. It's like, you were his baby mother, you remain his baby mother. Toya's sis, she remains sis. I was knucklehead Rema, I'ma stay knucklehead. Everybody gotta own what they had with a person, whether they're here or not. That's the beauty of relationships. And so, like, not speaking to somebody or speaking to somebody, it doesn't change the dynamic of your relationship you had with a person, really knowing a person, really understanding a person, really being able to get a person on the phone, because you and I both know it's only like 3-4 people that could have got the nigga on the phone during the day. He would be like, Rema, stop fucking calling me, y'all. I'm not answering you. I say, all right, I'll just keep calling you every minute on the hour till you fucking answer the phone. So then he has to pick the phone up. But that's how you gotta, Kevin's not the type of guy that you be like, oh, come on, let's go to the hospital. You see how you had to be like, yo, I'm gonna come in. But that's the nature of who he was. And for everybody listening, yo, just accept that. Like, whatever relationship you had with him or anybody that passed for that matter, embrace that. Good, bad, or indifferent, because at the end of the day, that's what makes you and that person so special, And I really just want to end on that note. I don't want to go too deep into anything, because I can hear Kevin now like Rema, So, with that being said, I really hope that everybody does respect your wishes. And as far as Lily is concerned, you said she doesn't need anything, because that was going to be my next question. Does she need anything?
I mean, my thing is just like, because
you be lit right now. Say the word. You be lit right now.
No, what it is this is how I feel about it. And this is, and I don't want people to take it wrong, but I feel like this. Don't say, hit me if you need something, because I'm not going to hit you if I need something. If you want to help or you feel that you want to give something, then just give, because that's just how I am. I'm not going to hit somebody and say, hey, if you need something, hit me, because most people are not going to hit anybody if they need you. They're not going to do that. So if you feel like, just like I had a friend whose son passed away, she's not going to hit me and say, I need you to give me the. I went to her and I gave her what I gave her, and that was it. It wasn't no, hit me if you need me, because I'm not gonna do that. Half these people I've never even spoke to before.
Right.
But why would I call you now to say, hey, I need something for you? Like, if you feel that you want to help or you want to do something, then you do it. I mean, she's well off, but if you feel like you want to do something for her, then do it. If you feel like, hey, I want to give you $20, or I want to give you $50 for her, okay, then whatever. Guess what? She runs track. That'll be another pair of track sneakers, or that'll be another pair. Whatever. I mean, it's not needed, but if that's what they want to do, that's what they're gonna do. So the overwhelming of the, hey, if you need anything, just call. No, I'm not gonna call you because I was never calling you before. And that's just my take on things. Like, I'm not a person to build new relationships because a person has passed. If I didn't deal with you then, I'm not gonna deal with you now.
Right.
And that's just basically, and a lot of people use death as a way to reconnect with them. Some people are just not worth reconnecting with, and some people are just not worth forming new relationships with. So I wasn't out on the party scene. I don't know, even though, yes, I had experience in this and I before, but that's not the person I fell in love with. That's the person I had a child with. I had a child with Kevin Herron. So a lot of people like, oh, they're all from the party scene. I don't really know them. So I'm just like, why would I call you to ask you? I don't really know you guys like that. So why would I call and say, oh, hey, Lily needs so-and-so? No, if you feel like you want to contribute, hey, what's your cash app? Or, hey, is it a day that we can meet up and I can give you this for Lily? And that's just how it goes. And that's it.
I do want to put a disclaimer, because you as the mother, I totally get and respect what you're saying. And is she there still? You still here, Ann?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes,
her screen is frozen.
It's still frozen?
Yeah.
Is it frozen now?
Okay, there you go. Now? Right. No, you're good. So I do understand, as being the mother of your child, that protective bearing. But I just want to do the opposite side from a Kevin people perspective. And so, again, he was my business partner, so I saw firsthand how he took care of people, in the sense that if sometimes, for whoever particulars, if it was your birthday, he treated it like his birthday. If you were sick, let me tell you, I have not beef, but in this game, there's a lot of girls who just don't like me off GP. No lie, I had about 80 girls, maybe 50 to 80 girls who just was like, yo, I really feel bad for you. So I'm saying that to say that's how much love Kevin had, is that it trickles over to everybody else. So if somebody who felt like Kevin did something for me, right? And a way of wanting to repay him back is once in a while looking out for Lily. I just wanted to put that disclaimer out there so people know how to carry it, because sometimes you be like, oh, these people is too much. They kind of don't know that they doing anything wrong. They just trying to, show their appreciation for Kev. So would it be wrong for somebody who said, well, maybe, Kev looked out for me all these years or whatever. I would like to do something for his daughter nice, just to show my appreciation. You would not have a problem with that, though, is what I'm saying. Is she there? And? Okay, you moving now. Damn, everybody frozen.
I'm frozen?
Okay, I thought you was frozen there. All right, yeah.
Let me move. No, because I'm just like taken aback, because I'm the type of person. I'm a first 48. I mean, I just love to hear. I sit down and watch people's lives all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So this is somebody I know, and I'm just like,
But Ann, you there? Did you have a problem with that, Ann? Damn, she's closing. We can't hear you, Ann. How should she log out and log back in?
Yes, because she's freezing because her Wi-Fi signal isn't strong enough.
That's what it says.
That's Yonkers. I'm surprised moms don't be crazy. And log out and log back in. Okay, there she goes. But yeah, Deb, I mean, again, I feel like I don't know about nothing else or nobody else. But there would be no great debate had it not been for Kevin. I never, from the day me and you first spoke, from the gate, I always tell people when it comes to this show, the show was originally offered because me and Kevin was so hilarious. My big homie saw us and said, y'all gotta do a show with that. He was like, how y'all debate back and forth and then he hugs you? He like, nah, y'all gotta do a show with that.
You got thick skin. I'd be like, some of the things I'd be like.
Yo, me and him used to talk. Me and Kevin used to talk to each other so fucking reckless. Only few people know how reckless. Yo, I be looking at some of the texts still, and I be like, yo, why we used to talk to each other like that?
That's why I'm like, I could never be a battle rapper. I could never be, like certain things.
When you love somebody, that shit is hard because you accept the person.
It's like family. It's like family.
You gotta accept the person for who they are. And you there? I see you. Then we're about to get into Camilla Harris. I need you on this panel for that.
Yes. But I want to hear about her new business. She said the laundry.
Yeah,
tell us more about that.
About to get into.
Yeah. I'm sorry though. I can hear there's something going on.
So while we do wait for Ann to try to link back in with us, how has your summer been? Because we gonna move. The 914 topic is heavy for me. Like, I've been holding back tears this whole conversation.
That's why I said I'm gonna sit back. I'm not saying a word because I know there's certain things that needed to get out.
For all the people that was really close with Kevin, Toya, Liz, Smooth, the people from Mount Vernon, Trey, Dez. Kevin had very few friends. I think I named basically that. Not to say that the other people that he worked with were not his friends, because he had a lot of people that he did business with, but we spoke to him day to day, to where the point was whenever I didn't speak to him, I still had to get the okay from him. That's just how Kevin was,
Yeah.
And I cry really hard every day still. I'm so not who I am because he has been so heavy in my life 5 years straight. I knew him before that. For 5 years straight, every day, heavy, 5 years straight. Somebody could have thought that I've known 22 years, it wouldn't hit me like him. When you
all right, is it better now?
All right, you're great. All right, so look. Are you okay with people doing what I said? Like, if they just feel like, yo, I want to look out for Kev's daughter because he helped me with parties. He was a good dude. That's my nigga. I wanna just do something for his daughter. Would you have a problem with that?
I mean, if they're gonna do it, I don't know. Why my phone doing that? Can you see me?
I see you.
I'm getting like all these messages on because I'm getting all these messages on my laptop, so I'm just trying to figure out why is it doing that. Yeah, I guess I'm alright with it to an extent. I really haven't thought about it. I'm just pretty much set in my ways, and it's just like, it's like if it wasn't there before, don't, like,
No, I get it. And this is something that I know from Kevin about you, right? So that's why when I wrote that post, like, who else better to interview you, was saying that in the sense that I already know how you are and as far as your views, as far as Lily is concerned, but I also know Kevin and how people got love for him and how he would expect people to do for Lily. He would expect certain, not everybody, but certain people he would expect.
Yeah, because I know if the shoe was on the other foot, like, and now I know how Kevin is, like, I know the shoe was on the other foot. He's not gonna say, call me if you need me. He's just gonna do, because that's just him. So a lot of people who know that's him, like, don't hit me with those. And I get that all the time, like, call me if you need anything. And I'm just like, I haven't been calling you no other time. What am I gonna call you for now? Like, you could have either, like, there was a whole, what is that? Go fund me up for them. They contribute to that, or. I had one person ask me my Cash App, and I never heard anything from them.
I was about to say, and that's just it, right? Because somebody could just DM you. Okay, let's put the disclaimer. Don't DM or inbox and asking if she needs to DM her. If you got love, and this is no pressure, because she's right. Lily's next month. You might got a little bit of money and say, you know what, I'm gonna get Lily a pair of sneakers. Or you know what, I'm gonna give Ann money to get Lily hair braided because we know how Kevin loves getting Lily hair done, right? You could do that shit next year. Like, it don't have to be, and that's the thing. Like I told you from the gate, I'm here permanent, long run. I want to see her off to college, and there's no pressure, right? She needs books. She needs something. You just got another person you know is there. See, people to me who put the pressure on, oh, I want to be there, you're doing too much. It's usually a circus behind that. But if you come in genuine, like, yo, what's your cash app next month? Or October, you might say, yo, she need a coat? These are the things that Kevin would smile and appreciate. Not any foolery or anything like that. And I just wanted to put that out there because, again, people be hitting me like, yo, damn, that's fucked up. I ain't get to see Kevin up or whatever. If you want closure, here we go, right? So if you want closure, if you want to do something in honor of Kevin, you couldn't buy him flowers because of Corona. Well, next month, October, December, whenever, Lily only got her mother now. She don't have her father. So whatever you could do, whenever you could do it.
It's not just Lily, it's not just Lily, it's Faith too. And like I said, the one thing
only reason why I don't want to speak of Faith because she has a mother and I don't want to, but everybody does, everybody does, I just didn't want to, I don't want no smoke.
Right.
But yes, we do love Faith as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now, Ann, let's get a little positive. First, I want to say rest in peace 914. I'm wearing the 4 tonight. Now, Ann, let's talk about life after Kevin. For you. Because even though you wasn't with him, just like me, he plays a heavy role in your life regardless. So now he's not here. How has it been for you?
I mean, as far as, because, we had a great co-parenting situation, so as far as, like, with Lily, I mean, it's a lot. It's not a lot because she doesn't, I can't explain it, but she's really been okay. So it's really not even like, how can I say this? I haven't really experienced the part of that where, Kevin is going, it hasn't hit me. Like right now, I think I'm still like here and just everything with the pandemic is kind of making it a little easy to kind of like, just kind of I'm not dealing with like if everything was open and going and school and so on and so forth. I'm not really dealing with all of that right now. So, it's giving me more time to spend with her as far as like, her not being with her dad. She goes the days that she would be going with her dad, she does track.
Okay.
So, it just hasn't. I haven't really experienced anything, I really haven't experienced, it could be that, I haven't quite, on top of her, my father, I lost my father 2 years ago. So I'm still mourning my father in my own way. So now it's not, I'm mourning just for me, of my own father, I'm mourning for my child and her, her dad. So,
so how are you channeling that with the new ventures?
I'm asking because, like before he passed, he did send me a text message because he did watch. Because right before everything happened, with COVID and everything, I had this YouTuber did this like focus group on YouTube, and he saw it, he watched it, he said it's great, keep doing your thing. I think that's a dope idea. Blah 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 blah, X, Y, and Z. So I don't know. I just kind of like I don't know how I got into the new business venture. Just like I like lingerie. I like it. I wear it. I don't have to have a man that wear it. I wear it, and it's really bigger than just women looking sexy or just buying it, because a lot of women that I have sold it to have their own personal insecurities, and them buying the lingerie and being able to wear it has really boosted up the scene. And I don't know, like if you're following my page, I do post some of the little testimonies in my inboxes, in my stories. Like, like I had one girl tell me, like, I was like postpartum for 8 months. I didn't want to wear anything. She said, it's bigger than just you selling lingerie. She's like, you're actually helping me build my confidence back up and actually, deal with and be sexy again. And that was the purpose of me starting it. Like, I really want women, not just women that are skinny, not just the new body chick that got the big titties and the big butt and the small waist. I want it to be known that, hey, you know, you can have a stomach, you can have stretch marks, you can have this going on. Because I'm starting to lose weight now now that I'm working out more. But before that, when I was those pictures before, I had my stomach and everything. I was like, girls know, like, hey, this is what it is. Like, you can be sexy in your own way. And, with everything going on, everybody's so busy trying to be this girl over here who got her butt done, or this person that got their tits. It's just too much of that. And too many people watching what other people doing, like, they're losing their own self-confidence. And not even that. Like, a lot of us women, we work hard. We're breadwinners.
Right.
A lot of us.
Right.
We're single parents. We're out here, we're working, and we lose touch with our sensuality. We're not sexy anymore. And it's like you're inviting your dude over, you're not getting sexy, you got your bonnet on, and you're not getting like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm trying to get that point. I'm trying to get it back to where, women can say, okay, and a lot of times you don't have time to go out and buy lingerie, so why not buy from somebody that I'm right here, but I'm sending it to you?
I need the link.
I need the link. Where can they
I need the link. I'm not lying.
All sizes?
Yes, I do have plus sizes. I have all sizes. And that was my thing. Like, I don't want to, like, and my thing is, like, people be thinking, oh, they got ugly plus size lingerie. No, they don't.
No,
they
they
got
don't.
really nice,
right.
sexy plus size lingerie. Right? And I've got a couple of pieces that's plus size, and they're nice. So my thing is just, like, I really just wanted to get, women to get that sexy back. Like, stop always thinking that, nobody wants to come to somebody's house and see a chick in the bonnet and, you're just so tired. Like, I want to, like, give that section and then, just make it, and it make, me, personally, I feel like, because people are like, oh, you don't want no models. I don't need no models. I want to model it myself.
Wow.
Let you actually see, that's it, me, like, let you see this body that I have and let you know that, hey, this is what it is. You can have this body and wear this shit. You don't have to be looking like this to wear it. You can wear exactly what I have on and let's be the shit. Right, and that was my whole thing. So, I really, and it's not even about making the money. It's about, like, these women, like, just seeing them and just knowing that they're happy, that their husbands are happy, and just knowing that I could do a little spice in their life or even make them feel sexy again. That's all it's about.
Right.
So
where can they find the lingerie at, Ann?
Huh?
Where can they find the lingerie?
I have a page on IG on Naughty-ish Lingerie, and I have a Facebook.
Let me look that up right now.
So it's Naughty, it's spelled regular Naughty Lingerie?
Yes, Naughty-ish Lingerie. Oh, let me see. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm gonna put it on my phone. I can see it out. Hopefully I can see it when y'all what you call it.
Get that promo in, girl. And ladies, check it out. I'm about to get a piece.
This is a page right here.
I don't know if you can see it. Nah, they
I
can't.
don't know if you can see it, but I don't know.
Spell it out. Spell it out, and spell it out for them.
Naughty, so it's like it's NAUGHTYISH lingerie. If you gotta spell it, it's LINGERIE. That's what it is on Facebook, and that's what it is on Instagram. Okay. And the link is in both the. I have a business page on Facebook. I have a group on Facebook, and I have a page on Instagram, and the links are there.
Okay.
And what's your price points, and from like what to what?
So most of my lingerie start at $40.
Okay. That's pretty decent for lingerie.
Like I advertise some. I have some bathing suits that's for pre-order that I'm selling for $50. They come with the bathing suit and the cover up there, $50. I have a few people already order some. Those pre-order items, I don't want the inventory in my house. So I'm telling them, like, literally, you pay for it. I send the money to the vendor. He sent me the stuff, and I send it out to you. I didn't want to have the inventory because I have a lot of inventory in my house just from the lingerie that I already have. I just want to get rid of that inventory first before I start bringing new.
So what you got in the house? I want to see what you got. What you got in the house?
I'll post it. I'll
Right. Post it. I might need to make a run. Okay. No, because I'm gonna be honest with you. It is the time for sexy. We done went through all kind of stress. We done been through, and I'm ready. I'm ready for my sexy. You know what I'm saying? So this is right on time. I need to come check you. I can just cash app you 40 right now. Just hold something for me. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I know I want to get something.
Get up on it. We are men
I know.
Get our pieces.
I know.
I'm definitely a lingerie
like I tell
girl.
people, like it's not even about like being sexy for men, just being sexy for yourself.
For
No,
yourself.
that's what I'm saying. I'm definitely like I'm
My type of person. I could be in the house in my lingerie, drinking my wine, listening to my music, and just vibing out alone. That's just me. But and a lot of times I'm very confident, and a lot of women are not. And I'm glad that I'm starting to see, being that I'm selling it to them, they are being more confident that they are able to post those pictures of like, hey,
That's
this is what it is. And that to me, that makes me feel good. It's not even about people like, oh, I want to make this money. It's not even about really. It's not about the money. Of course, I want to make the money, but it's bigger than that.
Right, it is.
Psychologically,
it is definitely bigger than that. Definitely.
Not to go negative real quick, Ann, but being that you are now an entrepreneur and you're in the business of selling things to people, you are known as 914's baby mama, and people think, oh my God, they always think we're the same, right? When in Barcelona, they used to always be like, that's Kevin's baby mother. No, it's not Kevin's baby mother. They be scared.
But my thing is just like this. I've had people buy stuff from me that didn't like me because of him. And my thing, like, my pocket's not prejudiced. So I take all money.
Right.
But you're not even a mean person. I'm just putting that out there to say that you are very approachable.
I've had people really hit me like, oh my God, you're so sweet, and
right.
I wasn't expecting you. It's just like, even if I don't care for you, I'm not gonna it just is what it is. It's a business. It's my thing is like, I know how to separate my business from anything personal. So even if it was something there, it's business, sweetheart. I'm gonna treat you just like I'm gonna give you exceptional service like I would do anybody else. I'm gonna treat you. You're gonna get your thank you card. You're gonna get that special bag. You're gonna get that little extra gift in your bag. And I'm gonna treat you. If you hit me and be like, hey, I got a question about, I'm gonna answer your questions just the same. I'm very professional. I know how to separate the two, and that is it. Like I don't even I'm way beyond, because me and this man weren't together for within 3 years this year. So I'm way beyond like being Kev's baby mother and all that other nonsense. Like those things out the window.
But I wanted to put that disclaimer out there so people know that this is not what it's about. It's just about, and it really is. And I've said that to a couple of females myself. Like, it's not about nothing. Half the time you don't speak to somebody because you assume they mean or you assume that they disgruntled. And half the time you're wrong about your assumption of the person. So I think that this interview really, I hope that it opens and sheds some light to like, yo, you're really down to earth, you're really approachable, and that a lot of people sometimes they tend to just, 914, and they put you, on the opposite side of 914. But you're actually a human being, you're actually a woman, just like me, Deb, and all the other women that's watching.
People are so silly. People are so silly.
Yeah, but you gotta support the sister. You see what I'm saying?
People have to understand something. I'm not 914. I'm Ann. I'm my own person.
You're your own entity.
People like say, oh, because Mr. 914, but that's him and this is me. Like I'm Ann. Like I have my own. Anything that I've done or anything or people that I met or ran into, those were people that I've met, and this wasn't because I met them because I was his baby mother or whatever. These are things I've formed and which I formed on my own. So people talk to me like, oh, because you're Kevin, okay, and what does that have to do with anything? I'm still Ann.
Right.
But Ann, I want to ask you an important question since you segue into that, because that was my next question. Now, you made a comment that you don't want to get a model because, in your view, you want women to see your body and know that it's a real body, like it's not imitation.
I don't really think that.
Wait, let me finish. Wait, let me finish. Because that's not even the important part. There are guys who say, okay, this is Kevin's baby mother, right? I'm seeing her panty and bra, right? How am I supposed to like that? Is that okay to like that?
They like it. I can see, even if they don't like the stuff that even actually hit the light, like you're still in my stories and you still see it. And I've had people actually say to me like, yo, I don't even want to like your stuff. You are Kevin. I don't even see you. Right. But my thing is like, people have to understand something like, yeah, I'm this man's daughter's mother, because I don't feel like I'm his baby mother because I'm not the baby mother type. I'm his daughter's mom, Lily's mom, and that's just what it is. Like, at the end of the day, like, Lily only has me now. She doesn't have her father. And one thing he did say to me, like, whatever you do, I hope that I make my daughter rich one day. So my thing to me is, like, I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure all my kids are good. So when I decided to take, and I knew that I was taking a big risk by taking, but my thing was like, I never care what people think of me or what they see of me or what they say about me, because y'all don't see, y'all, where y'all feel about me don't change never how my life's gonna go. I'm still gonna be out here doing whatever I want to do. I'm gonna still be the same person. So
basically, you saying don't feel uncomfortable when you see me in my panty and bra. This is business.
This is what it is.
That's business.
What it is. Like, it's a business. It's not me just doing. I'm not out here doing it because I want to be in somebody's magazine or somebody's video. I'm actually doing this because this is something. This is what I'm selling. And at some point I will get models. Just to kind of like show that there is different size women. But right now,
and it'll level you. Models will level you, definitely.
Right. So this is just me. This is who you see. This, yeah. And that's just it. And and it helps a lot. A lot of women base what they get from me off my size. Like, hey, I know if you wear that size, if they're bigger, I might have to wear this size. So. And that's just what it is.
No, but I wanted to definitely bring that up because that has been a thing like that. I'm a little uncomfortable with the shit. Like, what do am I supposed to see this? Like, because he's again, and this is all healthy, open conversation. But I want to address the shit that people try to whisper. We're not whispering. We gonna put it out there. That's we talking about it. That's what we call talking about it. And so. For the guys that feel like, damn, 914 passed away, this is really mom's, but yet I'm seeing her with her panty and bra. Am I supposed to look the other way, or am I supposed to support? And so you putting it out there like, yo, this is a business, and this is how I am taking care of his daughter. And there are a lot of outlets that people got to do in order to feed their family. I don't think people view it that way. And I'm glad that we're having this open conversation so that you can let people know, like, yo, it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's business.
Man, yeah. I mean, right? Okay. I don't know.
Again, people tend to not have an open mind about a lot of topics, and that is where we're going with this next topic, which I'm so happy to finally bring up. We're gonna need more than an hour for this. Which is Kamala Harris, the new vice president nominee for America, basically. And how people tend to, again, have very closed minds about...
It's not even that people are closed-minded, they're emotional. And as long as people continue to be emotional voters, we're going to be doomed. So my take on Kamala... Because I feel like this. You guys understand something. Kamala Harris, if you've done your homework, she's a prosecutor. So they're like, oh, she locked up a lot of black men. She's a prosecutor. Prosecutors get people locked up. That's her job. That's what she does.
But even more to that, it's like she was the boss. She had 8,000 prosecutors under her. So yeah, people call in, write it up, because I know y'all ready. So yeah, get y'all.
Why I cannot see people in the I cannot see it at all.
Go in the great debate, Deb. So yeah, again, let's warn people to give them the heads up. We're about to go into the topic now of Kamala Harris, who is now the new African American, Jamaican, Indian, whatever you want to call her, black. She was raised in Oakland. She black.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do think that if required of her, she's not up to the plate for if she's gonna hold us down. I really honestly do think that.
Why do you believe that? And I wanna hear some other people's opinions too, like the people who have the issues. Write it in the group chat so we could address it. But again, why do you feel like you try?
Just like doing homework on her, and just like, cause I haven't really been paying her no attention until her name came up recently. I mean, I do follow her. I was doing a little but now that I'm really like, kind of like, cause I really feel like I'm not really with Joe Biden. I really don't care for him.
Right.
For my own reasons. But I do feel like for her, and it's not even about her being a woman, but right. It is. People are like, oh, cause she's a black woman. Just like we voted for Obama because Obama was a black president.
Right.
But a lot of things didn't happen while he was in office either. And that's neither here nor there. We won't touch that topic. But, with her, I do really feel like, she definitely will show out for us if need be. And that's just from just like where she's from, just her whole attitude. Because everybody keeps saying, all they keep saying about her is, oh, because she locked up a whole bunch of black men. She's a fucking prosecutor. If you know that, then this is what prosecutors they she can lock up white men. Like, this is what she does. Oh, but she was all for locking them up and this, that. What was she supposed to do? Freeze them? Like, she wasn't a defendant. She wasn't a defendant, but she was a prosecutor.
And Deb, how you feel about Kamala Harris?
I don't have an opinion yet. Unfortunately, I don't have an opinion. I'm still doing research on her. I know the fact of, I agree with Ann said. Yeah, she's a prosecutor. That's what they do. I think it's hard for us to look at stuff on the outside and think that we could totally agree with or disagree with, because we don't know all the details. We're not watching the tapes from White House. We're not seeing the full discussion of what is going on behind all these things that are being passed in Congress. So it's kind of hard. Sometimes you got to go a little bit deeper than what you see on TV. You got to see what the obstacles and the hurdles are. You have to see all the elements that are involved with situations. So I need to research her a little bit more and to make that decision. All I know is that I don't like Trump. So that's the only thing I could say as far as...
And that's not good, right? And we all know that's not a good, valid reason to vote for somebody else.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I can't place a judgment on it.
As long as we're in a pandemic, we cannot get Trump out of office. So it's just like, even though we want to go for the elections, as long as we're in this pandemic, they're not going to take him out. He's going to be in this office until the pandemic is over. Even if there's we do the election, they're not going to have this is just a world crisis, so they're not going to put him out of office.
Nobody's going to step into that, right?
So I will say this. I was a little disturbed at Facebook these last couple of days since Camilla was elected to be the elected a nominee for the vice president. And the reason why I was disturbed is this. I actually been following Camilla since 2016, but that's because I work for a union and I've been in political science, and that was my major. And I was a union delegate. We spoke about this. I was an organizer, so I've always been politics. That's actually a part of who I am.
Right.
I actually got up on Camilla in 2016. She actually ran for office in 2015. I got up on her a year later because one of my union organized co-workers put me up on this lady from the Bay Area that she, we alpha females. So from an alpha female to another alpha female, my co-worker was alpha female. She put me up on this dope alpha female in the Bay Area who was up and coming as far as, and she was like, yo, she got 30 years in politics and all this shit. So I said, oh, let me read on her. Because I like to read on all these, I like to know information. I don't like to, Debra said this ain't good, so, I'm going to go with Debra said. Oh, I believe that Rema is the best promoter, so because Rema is the best promoter, what she posts on Facebook, I'm supposed to believe. Because I see a lot of that going on now. So again, I'm not here to convince anybody to vote for Biden and Kamala Harris. I don't even agree with half the politics that Biden is opposed to do for America. But what I will say is this. We do need somebody that understands the pain that we go through every day as far as equality justice right now. So if you want to narrow it down and really wire down what the main issue is, it's going to be black folks being treated as fucking equal. And a woman who was born in Oakland, who got the skin like mine, fuck who she married, fuck what her kids, her stepkids, because they ain't even her kids. Fuck what her stepkids look like. Fuck what her descendant is. Y'all went to her being Jamaican. She's a black woman raised in Oakland. She knows the pain of what black people went through. So now let's go through the facts.
Yes.
One of the facts that I want to address with you and Ann is the truancy law. So, I'm not sure if y'all familiar, but when she was attorney general, she was in office advocating for this policy called the truancy law. The truancy law was put in play because in San Francisco, none of the kids was going to school. So in order truancy from being such a high number, what she did was put a truancy law into play, which violated the penal code of government. So she wasn't even allowed really to do it. But she put it in play anyway. No parents, and you could Google people, because fucking Google works. None of the parents was locked up for the truancy law. It was to shake them up to what? Change the penal code, which she got done. She got the penal code changed to what happened. It went from 52% of truancy to 67% drop. So it was at 52%. When she scared the parents, whatever tactic she used, it went from 52% and then it dropped to a 67%. So, I mean, well, it went up, meaning that the kids started going to school. So my point is, being from New York, we do things. Everybody comes with baggage. But now the truancy law was put into play. If your kids don't go to school, you was going to jail. So now y'all, and Debra, y'all parents, how y'all view the truancy law? Let's talk about it. Because these are the things that Camilla's having fucking problems with black folks. So let's bring it out. If you was a parent in San Francisco in the Bay Area and she was advocating for this truancy law, would you not vote for her yet today? With knowing the facts?
I would. Because children need to go to school or have a school system in place so they can learn, they can grow up and be a part of this economic.
Is there something wrong with that?
Right. I don't understand. Like, I would vote for her based on that.
How about you, Ann?
I would still vote for her for the truancy law.
Right.
So let's go to the next one. Special prosecutor. That's gonna be a good. After the special prosecutor, Debra, we might want to read some comments.
All right, I'm trying to find the comments. You know, I don't know why.
Special prosecutor. You go on the Great Debate page in the video.
I'm on it. I see 17 comments, and I see Ebony David. I see.
Nah, it's lit in there. We gonna go to the comments.
See any of them?
Just come out and go back
tag
in.
me
Come
again.
Back.
I don't know.
All right,
Somebody tag me.
Tag you again. All right. So next we're gonna talk about her as special prosecutor. So now, she was elected a special prosecutor and then became the Attorney General of San Francisco, California.
Okay.
She had over 8,000 prosecutors under her belt.
Okay.
Within those 8,000 prosecutors, I can't name all of it. I'm gonna give y'all some facts of where she fucked up at. One of the things where she fucked up under her belt, so it's her, and then she got 8,000 prosecutors under her. All these 8,000 prosecutors got cases. In some of the cases, there was drug dealers. They had a crooked DA who stole drugs from out of the holding pen from the police under her belt.
Wow.
Within that, the rule was turned that like 1,000 criminals was let go. They was free on drug charges because of that loophole under her belt.
Okay.
So they felt like, oh, she was a bad boss, basically, because under her belt, all these people were let free because of her not knowing who was working under her that was crooked. Again, how would you 8,000 people? But we're not here to advocate for her. I'm just bringing out all the cons. Another con she had was she advocated for I don't want to get. Let me look. I know y'all on me, so let me get the facts right.
Yeah, but we gotta hit one thing at a time. Is it connected to this?
Okay, no. So go. All right. So no, it's not connected.
Right, because I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm still
Right, no.
I'm still digesting this. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So
all of us don't even know what our man is doing in our house or our mate.
She fucked up to where some crooked DAs stole drugs from under the watch of her, and because of that. The drugs being stole, like 1,000 criminals were let go on drug charges under her belt because of this issue.
Okay. So, the way I see it is I'm a little concerned with what happened once they found out that it came from in-house. I mean, as far as the people that got arrested for selling the drugs, they probably had much higher sentences that they probably even needed to have being minorities. That's another fact. They probably had served their time and then some by the time they got released. Some of the cases.
That's true, because we don't know. Right, we don't know. It's true.
Right, we don't know.
True.
And I want to know, once the situation was found out, how did she handle that? Because you cannot expect a woman who has all these things.
She took the heat for it. She just took the heat for it. Like, they backlashed on that.
Okay. But things like that happen. That's out of her control. And you just got to own it and have accountability of it if you're responsible. But,
how do you feel about that, Ann?
With the DA,
it's thick. It's heavy. It's a heavy one.
It's a heavy one.
You can pass. So we'll move on to the next one. Before we move on to the next one, I just want to state that Obama did state in verbatim that she was the sexiest attorney general in the country. That's what Obama stated. And then they said it was a sexist comment because, we're in the Me Too movement. So he had to apologize and was like, he wasn't trying to be sexist. But he sure did say, Camilla, this was 3 years ago he made that comment. I just wanted to, put that out. So now, the next one that was an issue for her was her convicting people who sold marijuana during her first course, which was a 3-year period of her first term, that she convicted over 500 cases of people who were selling illegal marijuana, and she convicted them. So what they're saying is basically when she gets in the White House, she's going to go back to convicted people of marijuana. Can I just say this one? Marijuana is law now. Nobody can fucking convict you.
Right.
Motherfuckers getting marijuana sent from Cali to New York every day, B.
Liquid delivered by pharmacies now, like, really.
I just want to say, because some of these topics that people got, I be looking like, really?
We really have to break it down. Everybody's in this rah-rah, don't even know a piece of the story. Only know a piece of the story. But so they're afraid that...
Let me state that it's not legal.
Say it again. Say it again.
No, I said I just want to state that it's not legal in New York. Marijuana is not legal in New York, but you get a ticket for 8 grams or less. So, I mean, people, y'all not kingpins. She not coming for you.
Right. Your bag of blue kush or whatever you got, purple haze. You're okay. And how long ago was that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, she was in office 2 terms. She actually beat the guy Cooley. And when she beat Cooley as Attorney General, she was already demolished because a police officer in San Francisco had got killed.
Right.
And she advocated for she said that it was like the police officer did murder when he was self-defense. So because of that, when she went to the police officer funeral, the police union and everybody, they blasted her at the funeral, and she was outcast. So when she went to go run for the second term, they thought the guy Cooley would get in second term. But she beat his ass and flying by 8%.
Right. I saw that.
So, I mean, with another thing that I want to speak to you and Ann about and see what y'all feel about is what she did do for people like sex trafficking. She made laws. She created laws. And, well, not created, but she helped implement laws. Let me use the right term. Implement laws in regards to teenage sex trafficking, and for the police and for the criminal justice system to take sex trafficking as the women being the victims, because before that they were viewed as being kind of solicitors, like
like willing participants, right? Mm-hmm.
So how do y'all feel about that?
I think that's a good thing.
Right. I commend her on that because, this is not something that we're seeing now. And even now to this day, we're not even getting enough publicity and press regarding sex trafficking and missing Black teens and missing kids, period.
How important is that, Deb?
It's very important. And I mean, even that kind of light, to shed that kind of light on it, I mean, we need light shed on it. And you know what I like about her? She don't back down.
No,
whatever she stand for, and I respect that. And I'm gonna leave it there.
And how you feel about the sex trafficking?
I definitely feel like it needs to be in place. Laws need, the same type of laws in place for that. Because it's not, even like with these superstars. Look at these fucking stars. Look at Epstein.
Right.
A whole fucking island with all those young girls on there doing whatever. Yeah, so it's just like these things need to be, and these are things that are not spoken about because they're basically stuff under the rug because they're rich and whatever else so happens. And a lot of black girls are missing too, and that needs to be touched too. But you know, everything under the sun is a distraction for people. People don't focus on what they need to focus on. Right. You focus 1 minute, and then next week you're focused on something else. Like it goes from why the black girls missing to Breonna Taylor and WAP video. Like y'all gotta pick this lane. Y'all gotta pick a lane.
We are so hypersensitive. Like we can't even focus on an issue more than 10 minutes. You know, I don't even hear anything about. I mean, I saw a couple of murals, Black Lives Matter, but you know, I'm rocking out to Cardi B and whatever that Meg Thee Stallion now. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's too much, too fast.
So now, Camilla was born and raised in Oakland, Jamaican and Indian descent, married to a Caucasian man with 2 Caucasian children. She's been in government for 30 years and was actually brought into government to be president. Like she never strayed away. She had 1 divorce, and what she said with that was that she left him because they just did not click. Now, black people, we have a problem when it. You know what's weird though? And let's talk about it. How come when I go to Miami, every brother I see got a white girl on his arm, and that shit is okay and cool? But the minute us sisters say we don't want a nigga to cheat on us, not to say all brothers do, but 80% of y'all motherfuckers do.
The percentage is a lot higher. You know what I mean? Right.
So you get mad at us because we keep trying, you motherfuckers, and you motherfuckers keep doing the same shit.
Right.
So, I don't think that I'm gonna have to like defend our black brothers for a second because I don't think that the
go ahead. Great debate.
I think what it is that it's advertised more. So when you have women, and I say this all the time, when you have a situation where there's women constantly tearing the black man down, saying, "Oh well," not saying that your fucked up man fucked you over, but all men ain't shit. No, the nigga you fuck with ain't shit.
Right.
It's not about, you know what I'm saying, and that's where it comes from too. Because like I keep telling people, you will never see, and I said this is how come we always far apart from each other because a lot of things we tend to not stick together on. Like I said, even with like the protesting and the rioting and all that stuff, oh, they so stupid. Why are they out there doing that? Let me tell you something. You would never see a white person get on the internet. If there was their color people out there rioting and stealing, they're not gonna get on the internet and talk about that. They're gonna be out there, or they're gonna back. They're gonna be silent. Just like when they get cheated on, they don't get on the internet. Oh, my man was fucking cheating on me. That stays within their household, their friends, their family, and that's all they know about it. We get on the internet, we're announcing that we done broke up, he done fucked this one, he done did this.
Got all these bad posts, all these bad news.
It comes to, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's not, and I think I think to me it's just as equal because everybody's unhappy somewhere. So I think it's just as equal with it's white men and black women. Whatever the case, I think it's just as equal. It's just the fact that we tend to broadcast it more instead of us keeping our house in our house. You know, now it's the outlet. Nagging it on the internet, say, hey, my nigga was cheating on me with someone, exposing this person, I'm doing this person. When you just keep that shit to yourself.
But they're
defining her. That's just what it is.
But I feel like people are defining her based off.
Because they're emotional. I feel like
I want to address it. I do think that it's worth addressing that. Does this define this woman who, again, I'm going to point out the facts again of what I said. She has 30 years of public service. She has been groomed from the day she took the oath to be president. She wants to be president. She never once wavered from that. From the time I got up on her 16, she wanted to be president. So she's been grooming herself so where you can't dig and find nothing. No, she's been grooming herself for that. 30 years of service. I don't think Trump had 1 year service when he became president.
Right.
30 years of service. She's Jamaican and Indian, but people are saying she's not black. But I want to first stop right there for a second, because
But why is she not black? Because she has a white husband. We don't know the conversations that tend to take place in their household when it comes to things of what's going on in the community with black people. So we don't know what her husband's stance is or what his stance is. So we can't necessarily say she's not black because why? Because she has a white husband. We don't know. I don't know.
Right, and we know plenty of people in biracial relationships that are fucking. First of all, this is my question to people that feels this way. Does America treat you any different? When have you ever seen a black person be treated differently because they was walking down a block with a white person? When does America treat you differently because you are with a fucking Caucasian person, people? We talk about the president here. Y'all want to nitpick? Let's nitpick. When does America treat a person of color different ever? Whether you married, whether you got a kid in a stroller, whether you got a parent, you push it in a wheelchair, you still fucking black in this country. Why y'all doing that to this lady? If y'all want to say y'all don't believe in her politics, fine. But to say this woman is not black, there was thousands of slaves that was stolen from Africa that was sent to Virgin Islands, who then descended to Jamaica. They came from slaves just like we did. They were sent to the Virgin fucking Islands. It was broken up into three. Read your fucking history, people.
Please do. Are we supposed to automatically say
it was broken up into three places? Read your history.
Are we supposed to say that de Blasio is cool because he has a black wife? Because it's the reverse? Like, come on.
Or is Eve not black because Eve is the same Kamala Harris?
Right.
Eve is the same. Shout out to Norm who put that up on the post today.
Where is it?
If we following that same logic, we saying Eve is not black. Eve, the rapper from Rough Rider. Your favorite.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I watched a podcast with her, and it was like kind of like a Zoom like this. But I forgot the name of the podcast. She was on there, and she was saying how the most difficult conversation she had with her husband since they've been together was about what is going on right now amongst black people. So I'm pretty sure those same conversations are taking place in that woman's household too.
You have to.
Probably way before any of this happened.
Right, you have to.
So right.
You don't know you don't know what the people don't have to understand that you just see from the outside. You don't know what conversations are taking place or whatever, because she's not talking about those things. You know, I was happy to hear Eve even say that. She said it was so difficult, and she said it was really difficult talking to her husband about it because he is Caucasian and she's black. And she said that's the most difficult conversation out of their marriage that she's ever had to have with him.
I'm gonna tell you this.
And a lot of people.
You could tell that Kamala Harris' husband has to be supportive of her. This woman is empowered. So you can tell her support system is with her on this. There's nothing wavering in her tone. There's nothing wavering in her voice. I bet you her husband could probably stand up and say the speech that she's about to say. You know what I'm saying? I feel, because when a woman stands up like that and has to go against a man. Right. So my thing is an alpha woman going to be with a man that's not going to understand her and her needs?
Debra, and again, people could Google this, and now please, people, I hope y'all, after this conversation, me and Debra is having, y'all start doing your homework. You can Google. There was, when she was going against Biden, this had to be about a year ago. There was a fan who jumped in, they was in a gymnasium. The fan jumped up on her and got in her face. And two security and her husband had to escort the fan away. I knew it was her husband, but I'm sure, because again, I've been following her. You gotta, if now that people know how her husband looked, they'll know that that's her husband. You gotta see the facial expression on her. Her husband looked black. Like, you know when somebody coming after your wife and then they got to him and then they had to escort him up the stage, but they caught a glimpse of her husband's face. And his facial expression was like, I will rip your fucking heart out. This man. But you gotta see his face. They caught it. Like,
y'all have a call.
I can see that from her. I can see that she has a loving, supportive man without even seeing who her man is. You know what I mean?
Al, is that you?
My thing is an alpha woman
again. We having hard trouble hearing you. Say it again.
Yeah, y'all have a call. There's somebody on the line on the call.
All right, let him in. Let him in. Hold on, Ann. Hold on. Is they on? Hello? Al, they on? Well, go ahead, Ann.
I think the call was on, and I think they were talking, whoever that was. I'm
It
not
was
sure.
like a replay in the background.
Right. But go ahead, Ann. What was you saying?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. Okay. All right. So going back to what Debra, on the heels of what Debra was just saying, you know why? Listen, and again, this is not to convince anybody to vote for anybody. I think that is the most slimiest thing you could do, is try to convince somebody how to choose the one thing that we just got in 1960s. 1960s was to vote. We got that in the 60s, people. Not the 50s, not the 60s. Caller, you on the air? Can they hear us out?
Good evening.
Hello, hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening, ladies. I just want to make a small point in reference to Camilla. When you say that, they're saying that she's not black, all this lady has to worry about, because whether she's black, purple, green, or orange, Hispanic, Asian, or black, that's not what the issue is. The issue is she qualified as a person to do her job?
Right.
And I totally think that she is. Now, they can, of course she's black, that's why they're questioning it. But she don't have to worry about that. She needs to just worry about being qualified to do what it takes for her to do to fulfill her position. Period. She does that, and she'll be fine.
Well,
I agree. Totally.
That's what she needs to do. Because no matter what, people are always going to talk and say different things. But if you have nothing to hide and you're qualified for your job, then they can talk all they want to talk. Just do your job.
Right.
A color, it should not have to, black, white. Her husband is her husband, no matter what color he is. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And when do we choose who to love? When did we start doing that?
Will people question because of her color? That's not what it's about. People have to stop thinking about, her color, her color. Can she do her job?
That's it. Right. That's it.
Period.
Thank you, caller. We
Period.
appreciate it.
Can she do her job? That's what a lot of people in America, they so worried about. Oh, this person is that color. Oh, is this person, Obama's not black enough, but his lips is black. This lady is not black. It's not about that. I don't care what color you are, as long as you're capable of doing your job.
Right.
That is what a position in the higher ranks needs to be. And when all of America stop talking about color and worry about people having the right qualifications to do their job and to run a country. We don't put you in office to be a black president. We don't put you in office to be a white president. We don't put you in office to be an Indian president. We put you in office to be a qualified human being who can run this country as a president. Period.
We
appreciate you. Thank you.
Calling in.
Right.
So you guys, and that's a good point that the caller did bring up, because that was getting me to the next hot topic of seems to be debate, which is Trump's topic, which is that she's talked to Joe Biden so bad, and she was so nasty, and she was so mean to Joe Biden. But to me, as a woman vice president, isn't that who you want? Somebody that's going to tell Joe Biden the raw, being that she's supposed to be, quote unquote, representing people of color, right? Like that's what the people of color are. Like again, I do not suggest you vote for Camilla because she's black. I don't advocate stuff like that. I don't advocate voting for Joe because you hate Trump. I advocate that you know that Trump is not helping you as a person and as your family, and that you go out and research the opponent to know what the opponent's going to do for you and your family. I don't suggest that you say, oh, Camilla looks pretty, or she's a light-skinned alpha kappa alpha. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the things that make a leader. And that's what I posted on Facebook. It's like, y'all following people who can't even write a letter for themselves, let alone identify what a leader looks like.
That's
right.
true.
I agree. I agree. And I think that you should be able to, you know, as a leader of our country, you have to be qualified. Trump is what he is, but he is not qualified to do the job. This is where everybody loses it. As the leader and the head of our country, you have to look over that. People put you there to run the country. I don't care if you eating neck bones or falafel or you're eating caviar. You just got to be competent and be able to run the country.
Right.
You know, you shouldn't be racist, no type of racism at all, but it's here. We deal with it. But the person that's running this country needs to be able to be capable to run the country. Right. Period.
So that's why we want to go back to the facts of Kamala Harris. So thank you, caller, again for calling up. We appreciate it. So let's go back to some more facts.
We down to the last
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much. It's me, the Power Ranger. Good, great job, lady.
I didn't even pick up
that voice. I was like, she sounds familiar. Hi, Camilla.
Hi, Camilla.
Hi, honey. That's how I want it to be. I didn't want y'all to know it was me.
Thank you for calling in. Great point.
I appreciate that. You did.
Y'all have a great day.
So the last point that I want to bring up, since we don't have enough time.
All right, bye-bye.
So the last point I wanted to bring up, since we don't have enough time, is Kamala Harris the right choice to help Joe Biden as far as change from 45, and why you feel that way? I'm going to go first, and I'm going to just keep it real simple and say the reason why I feel Kamala Harris, the reason why she has my vote, is not because of anything else, but the fact that them white boys up in Washington is scared as fuck of her. And I know what it's like to be on the boys' squad and run that shit, in the sense that you're not running them, but you standing on your own too. They not holding you up. You in a house full of boys, but you standing on your own too. And you could manage on your own too, regardless to who's in your circumference. Sessions, Kavanaugh, all the hardcore Republicans is scared as fuck of this lady. I have research Sessions say out loud, yo, she makes me nervous.
I've seen that.
So, for me, the reason why she got my vote is because she been through the pain I've been through. She gonna go in that building and scare the fuck out of them off that GP. Let us get through 4 years of just, even if it's quiet. Because Obama, let's be real, people, Obama didn't do much. He wasn't making a lot of noise. He was the peacemaker. He was Mr. Bipartisan. Don't forget that. You don't get far in Washington with bipartisan. So I just feel like we need somebody like, yo, what's really good with y'all white boys? Let me get in the pocket. What's it looking like? We need that. So that's why she got my vote. Go ahead,
I feel like she learned a lot All the different situations that you brought up, you learn from those experiences. You take the good, you take the bad, you weigh it, you think about what you could do better the next time. I think she has a source to build from. And I see the way she speak. Right now she has my vote. Like I don't know 100% about her, but for what you talked about today, I agree with the laws. Yes, you're gonna make a mistake.
And there's a lot more. That's why people got
No,
to.
I can imagine. We might have to do a part two.
I can't do all that, and
Right. You can't. But my thing is, I can't fault her for what she did years ago, right? All I want to know is how was it rectified, and what did she do to proceed? What did she learn from that? If she can stand here today and take all that experience and use it to make the government better, I am all for that. I know she's not one that's going to be pushed around. I know she's going to ask important questions, and she's going to she's going to demand the answers. It's going to be accountability, and it's going to be very little wiggle room to move around stuff. I think with her eye on the goal. You know what I mean? So I'm for her. Anybody that can get the job done, like Camilla said, female, male, whatever. I like her style. I can relate to her style, and we're not going to have a politician that's 1,000% for everything that we want, right? That's not going to happen. It's going to be something about every person that runs for presidency, something that we're not going to like. But let's try to find the one that has the most things that we could relate to, and try to do the best with that.
Bipartisan ain't getting us there.
You need
the
tough.
Democrats got to stop with that bipartisan shit. Republicans ain't fucking bipartisan.
And that's a tough group to get through. So you need a tough person.
He doesn't have. Neither one of them have a vote yet. I'm waiting to see how the campaigns go and over time. Just gonna look into a lot more stuff before I actually be like, okay, they got my vote. So it's gonna take time, and I just feel like shit happens, stuff pops up. So let's just see, how things go. But I don't really care for Biden, and then she's with him, so it's like you gotta vote for. So yeah.
But do you care? Do you not care for Biden over Trump, and then why?
I really don't care.
Because people throw that out there, and I need to hear why you care for Trump more than Biden.
I don't even care for Trump. I care for neither one. They're both dumb to me. The both of them. I don't. And it's just like I feel like a lot of people that are gonna vote emotionally. They're not gonna vote because they have the knowledge of what's going on and these people's backgrounds, and because it's just like I feel like Joe Biden is up to something by even picking Kamala. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's just. But why did you pick her? Like he's a piece of shit. But why did you pick her? Why did you pick her to be your vice president?
He picked her for the black vote. But
for the black vote.
But see, this is my point though. It doesn't matter because you only have two options. So you vote for Trump. When you question Biden, when people write comments on Facebook saying, you vote for Trump. Every time you don't vote or every time you say, I'm not voting for Biden, you vote for Trump. You only have two options. So when you question Biden or you don't vote, you vote for Trump. That's like, I just want people to understand that logic, because people act like there's another option, and there's really not. So you got 31 days right now. 81 days. You got 81 days right now to make the decision whether Trump is bearable. That not for me, for the people that saying, oh, Biden, y'all need to do the research to compare why I don't like Biden versus why I don't like Trump. And not hypothetically, people. Research and
do
get
some research, right?
Now, don't do no hypothetical shit. And for the people that don't know what hypothetical means, it means off the whim. Like, you don't have no concrete proof. You just like, oh, Facebook shit.
Yeah.
Involve your kids in the process. If you got teenagers, involve your kids. Show them how to make decisions and analyze and try to make sure they get the right. We could use this as a whole learning process within our own community. We all sitting back, we all complaining, we all name calling, we all got these things to say, but now is the opportunity, right? So while you're sitting at home with your child, your kids, talk about some issues. Let's make some future debaters, some future leaders. Let's get them involved in this whole political thing early. Let's teach them, you know what I'm saying?
If Camilla didn't do nothing else,
Right.
She taught somebody's daughter that they could be president.
Right.
She didn't do nothing else. She taught some brown little girl, whether you say she black or not, she taught some girl of color that woke the fuck up. That little girl is woke now, like Debra said. Now she's to think, I could be a fucking leader.
I could be great. Another option outside of video girl.
Secretary.
Right, or, whatever else. Something great. I don't want to just call out anything. I'm talking about something great.
First lady.
Right.
We're tired of being first lady.
Right.
And not to be funny, we run every other business fucking on top like the man. Why we can't run the world? We do everything else.
But I will say I'm still researching.
You have to.
And so I'm not just saying, tonight, this is what I'm doing, whatever. I'm saying I like what I've heard so far.
But you have to, and people, let me put the disclaimer. Let me put the disclaimer. By no means is this show leading, escorting,
coercing.
We're not trying to. We are not trying to persuade you to vote for Camilla and Biden. What we are saying is there are two options in 81 days that will lead this country for 4 more years. Your children, okay, and your well-being. And I just want to say, look at where you living now, and then research Camilla. You don't gotta look up 45. You live in 45 today. You don't need to research 45. You need to research Biden and Camilla, and you need to write a chop and screw list of pros and cons of why I like Biden, why I don't like Biden. Because this shit is serious. People, you cannot not vote. You can't sit out and vote. When we found out that Trump won, we was in Barcelona. We was in Barcelona when Trump won. We had a party, I think, for New Edition. That movie was out, if I'm not mistaken. And we was in Barcelona when Trump won, and you had to see the whole party face. You had to see
it was a sad day. You know what I mean? It was a sad day. But one thing I will say is that I feel Biden, right? Just because you debate, you do your presidential debates and all that, you have your platforms and the things you stand for, that does not mean that you do not respect a person, right? Just because we seen them debating and going at each other, whatever, that doesn't mean that Biden may be only selecting her for black votes. You know what I mean? He could actually respect her and how she gets down. You know what I'm saying? Because she is a positive, strong person. So I don't want to just...
People was oppressed, and she spoke up about the shit that he did that was oppressing our fucking people.
And if it's
shit
true,
that we don't want to vote for the nigga.
Right.
So you mad at her because she called the nigga out on some shit that, why we mad at him right now?
She could bring balance to all that.
And I hope that I woke somebody up right now with that. Because I want to say it on Facebook, like, people, y'all mad at Camilla for calling this nigga out on shit that why we don't fuck with the nigga Biden. This is what she called him out for. How could you not want her with him? She gonna make the nigga accountable.
Right. Look at me.
This is the future, baby. I got a grandbaby coming.
Give him a look. Give him a look. Right. I got 2 small ones and young boy. Look, I ain't having it. I want my granddaughters to grow up and think that they can be in the White House. Why not?
Right. And we don't even have somebody that could get on TV and make us feel wholehearted about nothing. We haven't felt what humanity is since Obama was in office, my nigga. We don't even feel humanity. We went through a crisis, a pandemic. We can't even feel warm when we see our leader on front of the TV.
Tell him, Rema.
We don't even speak for
Tell
the
him, Rema.
I need to, at least with Biden.
Who is he talking to?
But you can say what you want, but at least with Biden, I feel like, damn, we America again. Like, damn, at least he's speaking to the people. This nigga Trump, even when his brother was sick in the hospital, he said, yeah, we've been close from day one. Who talks about their brother like that? He was like, yeah, we've been close since day one. This is 45. This is the man who y'all said leaving office. His brother was sick, and he said, we've been down since day one.
Right.
You want
This is a great talk tonight.
Yes.
This is a great talk. It was a good talk. Much needed talk. Much needed talk. And I learned a lot. And I love to learn.
And we're still learning. We all still learning.
I learned about Miss Harris, and I gotta further continue my research on.
But it's so much, and again, like I said, I've been following.
I got time.
It's so much, though. You know, and I'm not gonna hold you. Out of the 3 ladies he was picking, I know all 3 ladies' background. On the low, I was picking her, and I knew that it was gonna be the biggest controversy over picking her. But it's the biggest controversy over picking her because she's the strongest selection. These white niggas up there is scared to death of this bitch.
Oh, they scared of her. Watch some of them Senate hearings and see how she backed them dudes up. Wait a minute. One guy even said, I need more time to answer. And because she had him so scared, it seemed like he couldn't even process his thoughts. He was just like, what? He looking at it, she's like, all right.
30 years. Yeah, she's
no joke. I need to learn that style of talking. I wanna get that's powerful. You know what I'm saying? When you watch it, it's powerful. That's how I want to be talking to people. I want to walk into a boardroom, shooting like a bullet. You know what I'm saying? That's shooting like a bullet. That's how she did him. I said, damn. Go ahead, Miss Harris. I gotta call her Miss Harris. But look, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
It's been a pleasure, ladies.
And B, we want to say thank you so much because, listen, getting into your personal business ain't never something people like to do. So I just want to really...
I appreciate that. I appreciate hearing that tonight. Like
you helped a lot of people, too, as far as there's a lot of people that got love for Kev. So what you did was help a lot of people maybe close it. Like, yo, he been suffering and now he's at peace with it. And also to let people know that Lily is good, because people, you know, he posts her. We always check on her, and now you don't see her. So
I'm glad you're good. I'm glad Lily's good.
And your kids. And she has other kids.
I'm very happy to hear that, you know.
Your final words, Ann.
Thank you for having me, and, you know, shop my lingerie.
Say it again. Tell them what it is.
Tell them again. You can find it on IG. You can find it on Facebook. Just shop it. Not me. Got a question.
What's your IG? So if people want to reach out to you, DM you, what's your IG?
Oh, I am AMB is my personal IG. If you want to reach out to me, there is _AMB, and Naughty Lingerie is my business site.
Appreciate you so much, Ann. Deb?
I apologize because I can never comment to people in the chat because I cannot find the chat for some reason. I mean, I'm seeing...
We're going to get better.
You know, what happens is I go live on my page, so I can no longer see the group's page on my phone. So I'm seeing people that's watching live from my page at the watch party. So I got to figure out a way to do that where I can see...
You just can't go on Great Debate page?
No, I go on Great Debate, but I share the link to my page.
Oh, so I see what you're saying. Right.
I can only see what's happening on my page.
We're going to fix it. We're going to figure it out.
I have to get another phone or another.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I have to get a third laptop. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in. We appreciate you. Yes. Every 2 weeks, check us out, 8 p.m. to 10.
The next show will be the eve of my son's baby shower. No, it won't.
It will?
No, it won't. I'm lying. I'm just ahead of the game, that's all. I'm so ahead of the game.
Well, you know what? We could possibly talk about how do you do events and planning or something under these conditions. Like you
that would be good. And we get
to go under, you know, some things you had to deal with, consider, and we can maybe talk about the holidays is coming up. How do we celebrate? Yeah. How do we do it going forward? So just dropping something out there.
That's good. You guys, you know we always love. We see you next Friday, the Friday after next. I am Rema.
And I'm Debra Coco, y'all. Share this link.
Thank you, everybody. Great show. Thank you, MB, and thank you, Big Al.
Yes. Good night.
Be blessed. Good night.
You already know what it is about that time. You are now welcome to the Great Debate Podcast, featuring your girl Rema and Debra Coco.